Hey guys, let's give everyone a second to get in here. Give me a second to get situated. And if you have any questions, go ahead and feel free to put them in the chat. I will talk to you guys in one sec. Okay, so the live stream was originally supposed to air at 4 p.m. However, a few things changed in the schedule, so that's why we're having it back at 2 p.m. at the normal time slot. Next time I do a live stream, I really want to try a different time. I want to be able to be accessible to all sorts of people from all over the place. So if you guys have a time that you want me to do, let me know, and I will try to meet that time for you. I want everyone to be involved, so let me know what would be a good time for you guys. Now, I got to get a thumbnail real quick. Let's see. Okay, that should be a good thumbnail. Hopefully, we'll see. Okay, so that's out of the way. Oh, good, we got someone watching. Now, I wanted to say that I recently had a video come out last Thursday, and it was a really awesome video where we talk about stories and different stories that people have and that type of thing. And the reason why it was so awesome is because I really loved all of the responses I got. I got so many responses with so many different stories of how much people saw when they were at the table or how much they saw people win. So it was really awesome to have you guys share your stories, and I just wanted to say thank you. I love your guys' participation. I love it when you guys share stories with me, and the more you guys do that, the more happy I'll be. More happy everyone will be, because we get to read them. I love reading those. Anyway, I just wanted to say that was awesome. Thank you so much, and wow, very cool. The second thing I want to talk about is we still have the super chat going. So if you want to donate, we have the super chat available. Also for Patreon, I had, for the month of May, 0 new Patreon members. So let's try to get that up to 1 or 2. Let's make a goal. Let's say at the end of May, I'm going to have 2 new Patreon people. That should be a nice, easy, simple goal for us to reach. So we got a goal for May. Now, I want you guys to make sure to hit that bell so that way you're always notified of my latest videos and live streams. And I also want to give an update real quick on the Indiegogo project going on. So we were going to do the Indiegogo project. I mentioned it to you a couple times in the live streams before. We need to do a lot to get it together. There's a lot to do, a lot of stuff that we have to prepare for. And so we're going to hold off on the Indiegogo thing for right now. We want to get our house in order and everything situated and organized and ready to go, so that way when we do it, we'll be totally prepared and ready. So I just wanted to let you know there's a little delay on that, but we will do it eventually. And like I said again, if you have any roulette questions that you want to ask, put them in the comments, or if you just want to say hi, put it in the comments. And we will start off with a couple of questions that I had. So Tom asked, a question I forgot to ask before is, what is a typical day like as a dealer? How often do you get a rest in between games? Do you have enough time to eat or anything like that? Okay, so I'll answer Tom's question really quick. A typical day for a dealer would be, yay, Ellie, good to see you. Hi. A typical day for a dealer would be, you need to get to work about 20 to 30 minutes early before you go on to the game. Typically, when you are a dealer, you have to clock in 5 to 10 minutes early, so that way you are on your game at 8 p.m. or at 8 a.m. or whatever time you're working. So you get to work at 8:30, you get to work 30 minutes beforehand. That gives you enough time to walk the miles and miles and miles of hallways that you have to walk in Las Vegas. We have an underground city under every single casino. So there are a lot of hallways underneath, a lot of rooms. There's so much. It really is like an underground city. That's the only way I could describe it. It's like an underground city. And for example, when I worked at the Rio, the hotel would be over here, but then we would park, the employees would park all the way over here, and we'd have a little underground passageway over here, and then we would walk like miles, it seemed like, over to the casino underground. So that way, when you're in the casino and you're a player, you don't see people changing shifts, you don't see people coming in or leaving. The reason why is because we're all going through the underground passages. So you get in, you clock in, you're on the table exactly at the time you start, and you tap the dealer out, and now you deal the game for an hour. And after an hour, your relief dealer comes over and taps you out, and then you go and you take a 20-minute break. Now, this is different for every casino, because there are some casinos in the Midwest where the dealers, they don't get a 20-minute break every hour, they get a 20-minute break every hour and 20. Or there are some casinos that get a 20-minute break every hour and 40, believe it or not. There are also casinos, say in California, where the dealer only works 40 minutes and then they get a 20-minute break. Over in Las Vegas, when I used to work at the Sahara, I was a poker dealer over at the Sahara, and what we would do is we would be on the table for 30 minutes and then we would get a 30-minute break. So be on the table. So half of the day I would just be chilling out basically. So it really just depends on the casino. It depends on what you're doing, where you're working, and all of those type of factors. So yeah. Let's see. Hey Tom, good to see you. Actually, I think I was just answering your question, Tom. What is a typical day like for a dealer? I just started answering that. So that's what I am getting to. I know. I was going to start at 4 p.m. and I had a couple things change on my schedule that I can't cancel. So that's why I moved this back to 2 p.m. Next time I do a live stream, I really want to do it at a different time slot. But unfortunately today, it just wasn't possible to do that. So back to your question, Tom. So we get in, clock in early, we're on the table, we work like an hour, get 20 minutes break. And then that's basically what we do for 8 hours. We work an hour, get a 20-minute break. Work an hour, get a 20-minute break. And then on the break, it takes about 5 minutes to get tapped off and to go on break and then walk back from break. So technically you have like a 10-minute break. And if you know any dealer, any seasonal veteran dealer, in that 10 minutes, they can eat like a whole meal, have a smoke break, have a bathroom break, like catch up on the latest gossip, and all of that in 10 minutes. It's just so amazing to watch these people get as much stuff done in like 10 minutes that you could possibly, imagine or see. So that's pretty much that. And then at the very end of the day, if you're very lucky, your break will hit the last 20 minutes of your shift. So say if your shift ends at 4 a.m. and someone taps you out for your break at 3:40, you could just go home. Typically after like the 30-minute mark or the 40-minute mark, once we clock out, we get paid for the entire hour. So that was really cool. Let's see here. So Garrett, if you want to find out how much a dealer makes, check out my website on the resources tab. The very right-hand column, you will see the World Toke board, and you can see Toke numbers from all around the world. So if you ever want to find out how much a dealer makes, check out my Tokes, my World Toke board in my resources section on my website. And you can find out a lot of stuff from there. Let's see. Oh, don't be intimidated to go on to a casino, Ellie. Hey, if you have any questions about any game, Ellie, or if you want me to talk about anything or go over anything, or if I could do anything to make you not feel intimidated, let me know, and I will totally work with you on that, because there's no reason to feel intimidated, and I will totally help you out with whatever. Just let me know, okay, Ellie? Let's see. Yeah, like I said, Tom, you do get enough time to eat when the dealer has a 10-minute break. Like I said, any dealer who's been in the business for a long time can eat a whole meal, plus go to the bathroom, plus have a smoke break, plus have all that in 10 minutes. So yeah, we do have enough time to eat. We learn how to eat pretty fast. So let's see here. And Tom, did you pick your schedule? No, I didn't pick my schedule. Your schedule is given to you. It's basically what they need at that time. So they will tell you you either have graveyard or you will have swing shift. In Las Vegas, I'm not sure about other places, but in Las Vegas, it's very, very rare to get a day shift. Only people who have been in the business for a long time and have put in the hours and are veterans, they're the ones that are on the day shift because everybody wants to be on the day shift. And the people who are brand new are either put on graveyard or swing shift. So you typically don't have a choice when you're brand new and you're starting out. You just get the schedule that they give you. And typically it's either graveyard or swing shift, at least in Las Vegas. I'm not sure about other places. So I hope I answered your question, Tom. Let me know if I did in the comments. If you have any other questions, just ask and I'll answer them. Now, the other question I want to do is Ben. Ben asked, during a split, do I automatically give a card to each hand, or do the first hand and then the next? I have an app that gives one to each immediately. Every casino is different, and I guess both could happen. When splitting and doubling down with the tip, do you double the tip, or is it part of the bet? And when do you live stream? Now, yay, I'm on live stream. Okay. What platform do you use? I use OBS. And do you use YouTube or Twitch? I use YouTube. I don't use Twitch. Okay, so getting to your question, Ben, real quick. Let's see. Tom, you don't really pick the games that you get to work at. You just tell them what games you can do, and then they tell you when they want you on the game or not. You can ask them, hey, I really love roulette. You don't have me on roulette. Could you put me on roulette one day a week? And they'll try to accommodate, but typically they pick the games you want to do for. They typically tell you which games they want you for, regardless. I can say this. Okay, now, back to Ben. So, you have a split. We're just going to pretend this is a blackjack table real quick. And we are going to say you have eights. So you have a pair of eights, and you want to split. We need some money. There we go, got some money. So you have $15 up. And you split the deck, or I'm sorry, you split the hand. Now, which card gets what first? We are going to go with the card on the left-hand side, and that card is going to get the first card. So you're going to flip over one card. Now, you don't do anything. You do not give this second hand a card. You stay still. You let the player decide if they want to hit this hand or stay on this hand. If they want to hit or stay, do what they want to do. So let's just say they hit it. That's a really crappy hand. We're not going to want them to bust. Let's be nice to them. Okay, there we go, 17. So they hit this hand. After they hit this hand and they're done with this hand and they stay on this hand, that is when you move to the next hand. That's when you give the next hand the second card. So you don't, when you split, you don't give 1 and 2. That's not how it happens. You give this one first, cool, and then this one, and then once they're done with that, then you go on to the next one and give the second one a card. Now, as far as tipping goes, let's say if you tipped and you split the hand, then you have to tip both of them. If you split and you tip the hand, you do not have to tip on both hands. If you want to keep the tip out, just one tip, that's okay. You don't have to do both of them. It's nice if you do both of them. The dealer will love you if you do both of them, but you don't have to do both of them. So what you would do if someone tips you and then they want to split, so they have an 8, they want to split, what you do as a dealer is you split the hand and then the toke bet goes automatically to the first hand or the first card. Automatically. There's no question about it. It's always to the first one. So then you play. So if this one wins, you win the toke bet. If it loses, you lose the toke bet. So I hope that answers your question, Ben. Now let's see. I know people are like texting me. Let's see what you guys are saying. Don't worry about missing it, Tom. You can always go back and watch it afterwards. That's why I keep the replay up. So Jay Fleming says, is roulette the hardest game to run because of the math and all of the commotion? It depends on the person. I actually find craps to be a harder game to deal than roulette. I really, really loved doing the math, and I love doing the commotion, or I love the commotion on the table. I felt like when I dealt roulette, the night would just fly by and it would be over like really fast, and I just really, really love roulette. So it depends on the dealer. I know that there are some dealers where the commotion and the math are too much, and this is like their most hated game ever. So it just depends on whether you like the game, whether you could do the math or enjoy doing the math, and whether the commotion bothers you or not. However, that does bring up a good point. On roulette, because of all the commotion, this is one of the games that is most often pass posted on. So roulette is like a pass posting heaven for some people because of the commotion. So just be aware of that when you're dealing the game. Ah, I see what you mean, Ellie. That makes sense. Okay, I totally got you. Well, if you need any other help, Ellie, just let me know. You can email me at heather@vegasaces.com, and I will try to work with you on that. I think that would actually be a really great video to have out, so I would totally be willing to work with you on that, and then whatever we come up with, we could probably make a video from that. So yeah, if you want to do that, just email me and we'll totally do that. Hey, Ollie, how you doing? Good to see you. Yay, you caught a live stream. Awesome. The Beast, he is cool. That is one cool dude. That's one of my friends. Okay, so Noise says, I've noticed a fairly large percentage of dealers in Las Vegas and the UK pay out players in dirty chips. Is it no longer an important issue? Paying people with dirty money is always an important issue. You don't want to pay your players with dirty money. However, that doesn't mean that dealers don't do it. There are plenty of dealers who pay with dirty money. It's not recommended. So with roulette, you'd never pay with dirty money. If you have a table and there are chips like everywhere, you know, that kind of thing, then you are not going to say take this chip, this chip, this chip, and then pay this guy with the dirty money. You're not going to do that. On roulette, what you're going to do is you're going to sweep. You're going to sweep. All of the sweep chips go into a pile, and then you go to your clean pile, which is like, you know, on the other side, but my table's not a roulette table. But you go to the clean pile, and then out of the clean pile, you take the chips, and you pay the player with the chips. Obviously, that's not going to pay $40, but I'm using it as an example. So you would never, never, ever pay any game with dirty money. It's not good to do that. There are dealers that do that. It's just typically not good to do that. Cool. Okay. So let's see. We got those questions answered. We got Ben's question answered. I got another question from... I love this guy's name. Okay, this is an awesome name. His YouTube name is, let's see, I hate you, you sick bastard. That's his name. I hate you is like one word, and then you sick bastard is another word. So I had to actually look at that for a minute before I got it, but that's what his name is. Okay, fun name. I like that. So question time. It's allergy season. Do you deal with everyday natural things like sneezing, blowing your nose, tissues, scratching your nose, ears, eyes, yawning? How do you always have to show that you aren't hiding or stealing chips? Great, great question. Especially, yes, since it's allergy season. And my allergies were always the worst. I had the worst allergies. So, yes, what you would do is you have to clear your hands before you go into your pocket and pull out a Kleenex to blow your nose. There are some dealers or some pits where the floorman will come over, tell you to take a couple tissues. You take a couple tissues, put them behind your discard rack, and then whenever you need a tissue, clear your hands, take the tissue, blow your nose, do what you need to do. Same with yawning. You gotta yawn, oh, like that. Now, typically, it's not good to yawn with your palm like this to your mouth. And yes, it sounds a little weird, but people have done it. Because you can palm a chip in your hand, yawn, and then put the chip in your mouth and hold it in your mouth until you get off the table. Yes, I know it's gross, totally disgusting, but people have done that before. So when you yawn, you always yawn with your palm out, facing away from your mouth. So you go, do this, yawn, that kind of a thing. What was the other one? Let's see, sneezing, blowing nose. If you sneeze, you're sort of like SOL, because you're sitting there and you're dealing, and then it's like you sneeze. You don't want to sneeze on all your players. So, and you can't exactly like do a quick clearing of the hands and then sneeze like this. If you can, that's awesome, but I'll get to that in a minute. Typically you can't. So what you do is you sneeze, you're dealing, you just turn around, turn your face around so you're not sneezing on anyone, and just sneeze like that, and sneeze into the pit. You don't want to sneeze on your players. And also, if you do like clear your hands and then sneeze in your hands, it's really, really, really gross for the players on your table, because then you're going to sneeze in your hands and you're going to be like, okay, here are the chips, here are the cards, here's all of my nasty germs with it. So that's why players don't exactly want to see you do that as well. So if you're sneezing, just turn your head real quick, sneeze over your shoulder, and then go back to the game. Achoo, go back. It's weird. But anyway, that's what you do with sneezing. Scratching nose, ears, eyes, it would be the same thing. You always have to clear your hands and then do whatever. But always, always, always have to clear your hands. There's never an exception. Okay, so that's that question. Let's see what you guys are saying over here. Yay, cool. Who stole the wheel? Yeah, seriously. I don't have a wheel. I don't even have a roulette table. The best I have is this wonderful, wonderful layout from the Hard Rock. If you guys don't know it before, I'll mention it again. Hand painted from the Hard Rock. I absolutely love this roulette layout so much, but no wheel to go with it. When I do my roulette series, I'm going to actually use the UNLV lab, and they have a wheel over there, and I can take videos and pictures and that type of stuff over there. But for the live stream here right now, I don't have a wheel. Let's see here. Yeah, it's a blackjack table, Tom. I just put a roulette layout over it so that way we could talk about it. But yeah, typically it's a blackjack table. Hey, Blackjack Innovator. Hi. How you doing? Good to see you. Let's see. Thank you. I'm trying something different with the hair. So, if you guys don't know, I have a designer / editor that works for me. Her name is Nicole. Awesome, awesome woman. And she was sitting there and she was doing my thumbnails, and she's like, dude, you look the same in every freaking thumbnail. Can't you like do something with your hair? So I'm like, oh, yeah, okay, sure. I'll learn how to do hairstyles, because I typically just don't do hairstyles. So I'm learning how to do hairstyles, and that's what's with the braids today. So when you see me in live streams, hopefully, I'll have a different hairstyle every time. Let's see. No, it's not fake. Brian, it totally isn't fake. It's a single zero from the Hard Rock, an actual real live layout. And another reason you know it's not fake is all of this right here. You guys don't typically see it because it's on the floor, but this is the extra felt that they give you on the part of the roulette wheel where you're going to have chips and mucking and that type of stuff. This is this huge thing. So no, this is an actual real live, was used at the Hard Rock roulette table layout. Ooh, ow, that hurt. I just kicked myself. Ow. Anyway, yeah, totally real. Absolutely love it. Okay, let's see. Yay, cool. Thank you. Let's see. So Noi asked, how often do players show their passport as their ID? Vegas dealers always give me a surprise look when I have to show them mine. Typically, players only show their passport or ID if they look under the age of 30. Typically, when you're on the casino, you have to be 21 years of age or older, but they tell us it doesn't matter if they look like they're 30 years or younger, we have to ask for ID. So, and if they don't have an ID, that's when we ask for a passport. Otherwise, the only time you need your passport or ID at the table is, one, if you want to get a new player's card and the floorman's going to get it for you, or 2 if you're going to get a marker. So that would be the only time I could think of that you really need it. Let's see. Yeah, I know the single zero throws people off, but we do have a few single zero games here in Las Vegas. So it's not that uncommon, but it's uncommon enough that I can totally understand where you guys are coming from. Now, I see a couple people where the messages are redacted. Are you guys just deleting that, or is YouTube doing that? I'm just curious. What is the worst roulette bet? The worst roulette bet. I don't know what the worst roulette bet is. I'm not sure about that. Because typically roulette's not good, period. You have a 5.26% house edge. So I wouldn't say roulette is like typically good. Black and red really aren't good because you're not getting that 50-50. If a 0-0-0 hits, then all of these bets are lost. So I don't really think any of them are good. If you guys have an answer to that question, put it in the comments. I would love to see your answer to that. But that would be my answer. Yeah. Let's see. Yes, Brian, some casinos have 000 tables now. Isn't that so crazy? So a 000, I believe off the top of my head, it's 7 point, what is that, 7.6%? It's 7 point something percent. So yeah, that's really awful. If you're going to play roulette and you have the option between a single zero, a double zero, and a 000, always, always, always play on the single zero because the house edge is only 2 point something percent. And I know I'm going to memorize the percentages. I know I need to do that. I have to memorize all of the house edge percentages. So I will eventually have that memorized. But it's like 2 point something percent for the single zero. So always play on the single zero. Oh, okay. You retract them. Okay, that's good to know. Cool. Yeah, I was wondering if like YouTube was deleting those. I'm like, why are you deleting those? I want to see them. Worst bets are green zeros, I would say. Okay. Yeah, tell me why you think green zeros are the worst bet fish sticks. I'm interested in hearing your thoughts. Ha! Hey, Joe. Good to see you. Ha! Yes. I did not delete your comment, dude. Hi, Joe. You're awesome. Let's see. Tom says, have you ever covered Caribbean stud? My dad plays that every once in a while. I've dealt Caribbean stud at the Rio, so I know how to deal the game. I just don't have the layout for it. Every time I go to the general Gambler's General store or Spinetti's, I always look through their layouts, and if I see a layout that I don't have yet, and that's not like $150, then I'll try to buy it up and everything. So if I see a Caribbean stud layout, I'll totally get that. So Blackjack Innovator says, what are the payouts in center of board? So are you talking about these payouts right here? Because these are the inside payouts. Now, on my last roulette chat, I told you what the payouts were on the inside and the outside. I'm going to quickly go over that real fast. So these ones are on the inside. You have the straight up, which is one number, pays 35 to 1. Two numbers, which is a split, pays 17 to 1. Three numbers, which is a straight, pays 11 to 1. Four numbers, which is a corner, pays 8 to 1. Five numbers, which I can't do because you need the 0-0-0. But if you have the chip right here and you have the 0-0-0, 1, 2, 3, that's five numbers, and that pays 6 to 1. And then six numbers pay 5 to 1. So that's just quickly going over the bets and everything for you. Okay, low chance of hitting it, Fish Stick says, the zeros. Cool. So basically you're saying that a straight up bet is probably the worst bet, in your opinion, because hitting a 0-0-0, you have the same chance of hitting that than you do any of the numbers right here. So they would all pretty much be the same. 35 would be the same chance of hitting, it would be the same chance of hitting a 35 as it would be hitting a 0. So I guess what you're saying is a straight up bet is the worst bet? Let me know, fish sticks. Let's see. Noise says the worst house edge is for the first 5. 0, 0, 0, 1, 2, 3. And it has a 7.89 house edge. Thank you, Noi. Oh, I'm totally screwing up your name, too. You give me an awesome answer, and I totally screwed up your name. Thank you, Noi. Appreciate it. Okay. So we got that one answered. We got that one answered. I answered that one. Now, there are a few things that I wanted to go over with you guys today. Like I said, my last Roulette live stream, I went over the bets and how much they pay. What I want to go over today is marking check value, spins per hour, and what to do on a dead game. So that's what I want to cover. We can also talk about the payouts too, since we started it. I just explained what the payouts were on the inside. If you have a bet on the outside, the dozens would pay 2 to 1. The columns pay 2 to 1. And the outside bets are even money. Now, when you are paying bets, you always pay the outside bet first and go in. So always pay the outside bet first. Then you come in. And when you come in, you're going to have colors all over the place. Unfortunately, I only put one color out today. I have a whole bunch of other colors actually on the ground right now. But I only put out these today. Just a sec. Let me just... So... Okay, now these chips are from the Fitzgerald. When the Fitzgerald was still around, these are the actual roulette chips that they used to use at the Fitzgerald. And I have a huge box full of them. So we're going to play with a little of them. Now, when you have colors, multiple colors, and you have people like chunking and putting colors all over the place like that, and then you finally like hit a number, what do? You have all of these numbers everywhere, or all of these colors, all of these chips everywhere, and you don't know what do you pay out first. Okay, so here's what you pay out first. Well, first what you have to do is clear the board. So take all the bets that don't matter, keep them away. Now you have the bets that matter. So you are going to make sure that they are in 5s. So there's 5 on the bottom. That's the peach. There's, what is that? 4 on top and then 2 on top here. So you break it down like that so you can see every color. And then we're going to give blue a couple more, yellow and blue a couple more. Okay, so then what you're going to do is you're going to go from the top down. So the top down, you have the blue in the top. So you would take all of the bets for the blue. Let's say blue has one right here. You would take the double street, the corner, and the straight up, add it all up, and then pay him that bet. Then you would go to the next one, yellow. So you have a yellow one here, you have yellow here. Let's give yellow one on a split. So you have all these yellows, so then you add up the yellow, figure out how much the total is, and then you pay the yellow. Then the next one is orange. Look at all the orange, figure out what the orange is, pay the orange. So you go outside in, and then you go top down. Yes, these chips could be any value you want, and that's actually a great segue into the next one, marking that chip value. When you come up to a table, you're going to see the minimum maximum sign. Whatever the minimum is, whether it's $1, 25 cents, whatever you're at a roulette table, that's what the check value is. So if you walk up to a roulette table and it's a $1 roulette table, when you get chips, they're all going to be $1 chips. If you're downtown and you're at like a 25-cent roulette table, when you get your chips, all the chips are going to be 25 cents. So it's going to be what the minimum is for that table. Now, here's what happens if you have a player who comes up to the table and they say, I want $5 chips. Well, you're still going to give them roulette chips. You're still going to give them these chips, but what you're going to do is you're going to mark it. So up here, there's a little plastic contraption that you could put a chip on, and then you put a $5 chip on top of it. And what that is showing the cameras is that every yellow chip is worth $5 instead of the minimum $1 or 25-cent chips. So that's why it's very important to mark the chips. You want to know which ones are the minimum and which ones are $5. Now, let's say you have chips marked for $5 and that person gets up and starts walking off the table. Please do not let them walk off with your roulette chips. If they walk off with a roulette chip that's worth $5 and they go and they try to cash it at any other roulette table, they're going to get dollars for it. They're not going to get the $5 that it's worth. They're going to get $1 for it. So that's why if you have a $5 roulette chip, you want to cash it in at that table that you were playing at, because it shows that those roulette chips are $5 instead of $1. Let's see. Okay, so that answered that question. Okay, that's the other thing. So when you have a marked chip like this, it's a $5 chip. When you go on break and the relief dealer comes and they tap you out and you have to go on break, always make sure you mention to the relief dealer that, hey, I got $5 chips playing. Or, hey, yellows are $5. You want to let them know that not all of the chips are the same amount, that yellow is $5. So that is another thing you want to make sure you do when it comes to marking up chips. Tom says, my casino does it differently. When I play the game, chips that don't have a dollar value printed on them are always $1 no matter what the table minimum is. Okay, what area of America are you, Tom? Are you in the West Coast? Are you Midwest? Or are you East? Just curious. But that's good to know. So we covered the marked chips. We covered the bets. Now let's cover spins per hour. So like he was saying before, no, I don't have a roulette wheel, but we can still talk about it and we can still go over it and I can still help you with that. I might as well muck these chips while I'm at it. Another thing too is if you're going to be on the roulette table and you're worried about your mucking skills, you could always get chips, bring them home, and then practice mucking at home. So that's another example. So let's see here. So spins per hour. Basically, when you're on a game like blackjack, everyone knows hands per hour, and that's basically how fast you could deal the game. Well, of course, roulette doesn't have cards, so we don't have hands per hour. We have spins per hour, and you want to make sure you keep that consistent. You want to keep the game going. So that's what I'm talking about when I say spins per hour. Now, when you're on the game, if you're not sure when you should spin the ball, just remember, you want to keep the game moving. So after you pay the players and everyone is just about to start betting, you go over to your muck pile and you sit there and you muck the chips. And when you're done mucking the chips and all that's done, spin the ball, and that right there should give you enough time to let the players make their bets but still keep the game going. So if you have a full table and there's a lot of people betting, then that's going to take you a while to muck up those chips. So while you're mucking up those chips, that gives the players enough time to make their bets. When you're done mucking the chips, spin the ball. By the time the ball drops, you should have given your players enough time to make their bets, but still keep the game going. Wave it off, no more bets, and then go ahead and pick the winner. So you always want to make sure that you give the players enough time to bet, but you want to keep the game moving. Now with a dead game, when you're on a dead game, if you're sitting on a dead game, you don't want to be sitting there playing with the chips, you know, like, oh, I can make shapes with them, or oh, I could do like a house of cards and we can build stuff and look what we're building. And okay, you really, really don't want to do that. First, it makes you look unprofessional. Second, you're not paying attention to the people who are walking by, which is actually what you should be doing. If you're on a dead game, you should have your hands on the table, not really messing with the ball, not messing with the chips, anything like that. And when you see people walk by, you make eye contact with them, you greet them, and then if they want to come play, they'll come play. People are less likely to come play at your table if you're not paying attention to them and you're messing with the chips or you look like you have something to do. And as the dealer, that's your job. You want people to come to your table. You want to be inviting. You want to be approachable. That's part of the job. So that's what I have to say for the dead table. Let's see what you guys have to say. Oh, okay. Tom is in the Northeast Coast. Okay, cool. Good to know. Pennsylvania. Awesome. Okay, so we've been going for about 40 minutes. If you have any other questions, put them in the comments below. I think I've pretty much said everything that I want to say for today. So let's see. Did that. Yeah, let me know if you guys have a question. Okay, I could talk about that while we're waiting. So I'll give you guys a minute to ask me a question. After I answer your guys' question, I think we're going to call it good for the day. But I just want to bring up one more fact. When I was telling you earlier that this game is probably the best pass posting game that people could go on, when they typically pass post on roulette, they do it in this area right here at the very end of the table. So it's either the columns or it's these numbers right here. So when you were watching a busy game, make sure you pay particular attention to this area right here and watch for people and how they bet, and if anyone is taking someone's bet or putting additional bets on there. Always, always, always case your layout, know what people are playing, and know what their actions are and their behaviors are. So that way, if you see anything different, it'll set off a little red flag in your brain. Tom says, have you ever been on a dead game long enough for the supervisor to say close the table? Yes, I have, and it's been fun. Those were my favorite times. It would be nice. We would be staying on a dead game and be dead for most of the game, and then people would be like, the supervisor would be like, okay, bring up the lid, and you're like, yes, everything is good. So you go, bring up the lid, do your thing, close your table, and then you're out of there. Sometimes they put you on a different game. It just depends on the casino. Sometimes they'll send you home. Sometimes they'll put you on a different game. But yes, I have had that happen. Okay, cool. Well, I'm glad to know that the 2 p.m. one works for you, Tom. I will, like I said, when I figure out what a good time is to have these live streams where I can have the most people, where I could be available to the most amount of people, that's what I'm eventually set my live stream for. But I wanted to try different times. I wanted to try a few different things, and I wanted to get a feel for it before I made an actual set time. So the 2 o'clock I've been liking on Thursday. I think I'm going to keep it on Thursday. But next time I do a live stream, I think it'll be a little later. So yeah, if you guys have a better time, let me know. If you have any questions you want me to answer, let me know. And that does it for today's live stream. We've gone over a lot. I answered your questions. We went over the bets. We went over marking the value of the chip and what to do on a dead game. So if you have any suggestions for the next live stream that I do, please let me know, comment. And we will do the next live stream, not next Thursday, but the Thursday after that. So that will be when the next live stream is. Send me your roulette questions. Let me know if you have anything that you want me to talk about. And you guys have been awesome. I really appreciate you coming and watching and joining in on the conversation and asking questions. And I think you guys are so freaking awesome. And I love my aces. My aces are my people. You guys are so awesome. Thank you so, so, so much for watching. And I am going to get going. So that does it for today. Check out my live stream in the next 2 weeks. If you have a question, post it in the comments. And thank you guys so, so much. I really appreciate you joining me today. I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good one. Bye.